video we'll be looking at quadratics, how to find your quadratic equations from the graph, and then later on how to draw the graph from a quadratic equation. So we've been given the graph like this with these numbers. So it crosses the y-axis on 15 and has a roots 3 and 5. So we're using this to find the quadratic equation using this formula here. So we have y equals a x, the first r1 is 3, so minus 3, x minus 5. So that's our r's. Now to find the a, we know this coordinate here is 0, 15, so we have 15 equals a times 0 minus 3, which is minus 3, and 0 minus 5, which is 5. So therefore a equals 1. 3 times 5 is 15, and then take that over, divide it, so a equals 1. Therefore my y equals 1 times x minus 3, x minus 5, and then I could just expand that out to get x squared minus 8x plus 15. And that's my a is 1, b is minus 8, and c is 15. Okay, in this form. Sometimes I might ask to give it in the form of completing the square. So next up, again, we're going to do the same thing. Y equals a x minus 2, x minus 5. Again, y equals 10 when a and x equals 0. So a 0 minus 2 is just positive 2 times minus 5. So that equals 10 equals a equals minus 10a. So a is equal to minus 1. And you can see that by the shape of the graph, it's going to be a minus. So y equals minus, and then I'm just going to expand my bracket out. I'll write out x plus 2, x minus 5, and then y equals, if I just expand that out, I'll get minus x squared. That will give me 2x minus 5, which is minus 3, so it'll be a plus 3x minus 10 plus 10. Okay, so just expand this out and then times everything by the negative to get this. Okay, so that's that using this formula here. Next up, we have the quadratic equation. We have to make the graph now. So to do this, you need 3 things. You need to work out 3 things. First, you need to work out the roots, and then you need to work out the y-intercept, and then we need to work out the turning point. So completing the square. So first up, let's work out the y-intercept, which is pretty simple. Y-intercept is when x equals 0, so y equals 0 minus 0 plus 8, y equals 8 when x equals 0. Yeah, so we've got that's the y-intercept. Next up, we're going to factorize it to find the roots. So we know 0 equals, let's factorize it, x 2 now it's time to give me, so it's going to be 4 and 2. We need minus and a minus, so the roots are x equals 4 and x equals 2. Yep, and the next part and the last part is the minimum or maximum point, the turning point. So we're gonna do our completing the square here. So we've got x minus 3 all squared plus 8 minus minus 9. So x minus 3 squared minus 1. So my turning point here is going to be 3, x is 3 and y is minus 1. Remember, you take the, when x minus 3 equals 0, and then just the y-intercept here. So my graph looks something like this. So remember, it's just a rough sketch. So I know it's going to cross here. X equals 8. So I know this is going to be 8. And 4, 2. And it's a positive parab. So it's going to be something like, you could just draw the U and then fill it in afterward. So that would be 8. That would be 2. That would be a 4. And here would be 3 minus 1. And if they ask for the line of symmetry, it's just a line going through the minimum point. And so x, so the line of symmetry equal x equals 1. Oh, sorry, x equals 3. So the line of symmetry is just a line going through here at x equals 3. Okay, so that's that. And the next last question I'm going to do down here. So we have, again, I'm going to work at the y-intercept. So when x equals 0, y equals 7. Yeah, just write that up here. Y equals 7. Then I'm going to factorize this. So to do that, 0 equals, take the minus out, x squared minus 6x minus 7. So just taking the minus out, so that equals minus x 7 and 1, negative, positive here, equals 0. So x equals 7, x equals minus 1. And so for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work at the maximum point here using a different method just to show you. So I'll start with my graph to show you. So I know this is going to be a 7 and the graph is going to look like this. Okay, because there's a negative, so I know this is minus 1, this is 7. Oh, maybe I should draw it a bit better. So I'll just draw it like this. So minus 1, 7, and this is 7. Okay, so to work out the points here, my maximum minimum point, what I'm going to do, I know another the x value is the midpoint of my coordinates here. So that is going to be 3. So the middle of minus 1 and 7, so is 3. And I could put that back into my formula. So that will be minus 9. So y equals minus 9. When I put the 3, when x equals 3, y equals minus 9 plus 18 plus 7, which equals 16. And that would be my maximum point. And then my line of symmetry is equal to the line coming down here, so x equals 3. Okay, and that's it for the quadratics.